Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kenny. It's a cloudy, gloomy day here. In fact, it's kind of cool. But I'm going to do something for a topic today that I'm going to say this without hesitation. About 99.9% of you guys that view me regularly, you won't know what I'm going to do here. You have a clue what this is, but I'm going to show you something that has been handed down for many generations, especially around here. Now I'm talking about many of you gardeners. Now, of course, you know that I am an organic gardener. Many years ago, I want to leave this on you. Many years ago, the old timers didn't have tools like we have today. So what did they do? They made, now I'm talking about garden tools. They made their own. And I'm going to show you how to make something today that's it's uniquely different, but it will be something that you could use around the garden, especially so many of you guys that chop weeds and you cut them out of your garden every spring and summer. I'm going to show you. Look at this. I can take this. This is just a big old huge chunk of sheet metal that's actually a saw. It's a saw blade. Now I'm going to transfer this into a hole, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. Now this is what we call a store-bought hole. Now I've already got it started. I'm going to use a part of this. See what I've done? I've got it marked here with chalk. Now I'm going to cut that out first. So you hang around and I'm going to show you a trick on how to make these things. And believe me, they work and last forever. So let me show you what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut this out. Now this is something that some of you would say you can't be serious, but let me show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, now my forefathers would have called that a hoe shank. I'm talking about my ancestors that made their own holes. Now they took, and let me show you very briefly here, they would drill holes. Notice where I've got my finger. They would take a couple of holes here, and they drill it in there with a primitive style drill. And of course it would go all the way through this. And then they would take copper brads that would be squished. The heads of them would just beat down and become solid heads as you put the hammer to them. And that locked them in like this. Take a look at this. That's how it would work. They locked them in on this side and over here on that side with the copper brads. Now I'm going to take in this, it's going to be a little bit uniquely different. I'm going to use this like this. Here is, notice this, this has got saw teeth in it. Now what is, you need something to dig down into dirt. Now this is my idea. Something to dig down in dirt. I'll have to sharpen these really sharp. And if the dirt is pretty hard, then you need something that's got some tooth or some teeth here. And that's what I'm looking at here. You can use it either way with this here turned like that for digging and like this for cutting weeds on this particular part. So I'm going to put the welder to it, okay? Now folks, I have got this garden hole. And incidentally, I don't normally do any welding in a pair of shorts, but I'm going to stay at a distance to make sure I don't get a nice deep dark tan, if you know what I mean. But I'm going to put this, now notice here, I've got this whole shank precisely in the spot that it needs to go, and I had to take some of the rust off of this blade in order to get this weld to stick. So I'm going to take my time here, and I am going to get a good weld on this and show you the final product here in just a few minutes. Oh yeah. Now I think we're in good shape. Okay. I think I've started a small fire, but nothing to be alarmed about. Now let me unhook this. Let me unhook this cable here. Oh yeah. Wow. A little water will take care of that. All right, now we got to put the handle on this thing, and we're going to show you what it looks like then. Okay, now folks, we are done. We have got this done. Let me show you what it looks like. Now that right there is a man's garden hole. Now, folks, I'm going to be honest with you. The old timers, they didn't know any. I'm talking about my ancestors and possibly even yours. They didn't know anything about power tools, and they had no idea on how to do stuff like we do today. But this is something I came up with. Now let me give you a little bit of a close-up of this. You can see how that I welded it here. Not a very good job at doing it, but it's going to hold. Now, I can take this part right here. Now, I've got to put a sharp edge on this thing. I'm going to take my grinder and put a nice sharp edge on that. Now, I've got that curve there for a reason, because when you put that down on the ground, it will do better if you've got a curvature here rather than have it to be flat. And the same is up here, because I'm going to put some sharp edges on these teeth. Now I can use it. Let me show you just briefly here like this. That part right there will be if you're working in your garden and you run into some big old plots of dirt, just use these teeth to chop it up. And over here, this part here, I'm going to put an edge on it and make it really sharp so it will cut weeds. It will cut weeds. Now, let me point this camera down here and let you see what I'm talking about. Like so. Now notice I've got a short handle on this. I need it a little bit longer because, well, I just need a little bit longer. But like that. You can chop weeds with that and really just cut them really, really close with that. I came up with that idea, and I think it'll work. So if you're interested in doing something like that and you try it out, leave your comments in the box below, and that way I'll hear what you have to say about this. But I've enjoyed doing this. It's taken me probably, it's beginning to rain a little bit. It's beginning to, well, it took me maybe about a half hour, something like that. All the cutting and all the welding, etc., etc. So it's going to be okay. But I thought I'd share that with you, and I enjoyed doing it, and I hope that you've enjoyed maybe getting a little idea on what to do. After all, it is spring, and it's a garden tool, and you can save a lot of money. I don't know what a hoe, what my forefathers would call a store-bought hoe would cost. I haven't bought one in a long time, but I'll probably make mine from now on, because who doesn't want to save money? That's what it's all about. So I appreciate you for watching, and as always, well, listen, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to do that. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel, and you have a blessed day.